Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. This is a game for Acup between the two players. This is game number 2. The map is Crystal Kingdom 1.3, and let's introduce our players. We have Nicker spawning in as the purple night elf in the upper left. Then down in the lower right, we have we have WarchiefRich. I'm not sure where the dark came from. Again, it is a night elf mirror. Both of them very good night elf players, so that makes sense that it's a night elf mirror. There you go. Both players going to go ahead and go with the Ancient of War creep. We're going to see Rich going for the nice little troll trappers, triple trappers, the triple troll trappers. That's the triple trappers. The triple trappers. I don't know. And Nicker is going to go for this little Tuskar camp right here that we had to actually turn off the fog to see because you can't see it from there, but it's all right. It's got a nice little arch though. You can see very cool. It's a very cool map. I do like this map quite a bit. Are we going to see the double Demon Hunter first? Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And that's okay, because it's a good thing to have double Demon Hunters and the triple trappers. I mean, what more can you want? The double Demon Hunters and the triple trappers. That is really fun to say. I encourage you to start to say that with me like 2 times. We're going to go triple trapper, triple trapple, triple trapple, triple trapple. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, let's, Demon Hunters and Archers, pretty much a pretty standard opener. Scouting coming in from both players, it looks like. You can almost see the Wisp coming in from Nicker all the way down here. We could call him the Purple Elf. We call Rich the Red Elf. So we have options, which is fantastic. I like options. And let's try it. Purple Elf here is going to creep out the Tuskar camp, which is pretty effective. And in fact, let me know if you would prefer me to reference these guys by color, because if I do that, it might make it a little bit easier for people who don't know the names and maybe are having a little bit more trouble following, because this is actually a mirror. So I think I'm gonna give that a try. Purple Night Elf going ahead and creeping out this Tuskar camp, of course, naturally, and the Red Night Elf over here, just working on this camp. The triple trappers, which I feel like I should be better. I love tongue twisters. I'm pretty good at a lot of them. I practice them. I think everyone should. They're so much fun, but if you enjoy them anyway. But triple trapper, that one gets me. R's are particularly R's and L's and W's. Those are like the big 3 that I struggle with. Anyway, to get into the game, Purple Night Elf going to go ahead and chase down that Red Wisp. However, will get detonated, and here we can see that the Red Demon Hunter is coming up for a nice little bit of mana burn trade right there. Both players on. Actually, it looks like the Purple Night Elf having a little bit less mana here. As you can see, about 50 mana less. There you go, another mana burn going off. And again, this is I think that the Purple Night Elf has done a little better there. I imagined what he did was, I think he probably burned the creeps that he was creeping for a little bit of extra damage, which makes sense that you would do that, because as you just saw, there was a burn on him that did 7 mana and, what, I don't even know how many, like 7 damage, if that. So it's not really that big of a deal. Here we're going to see that the Red Night Elf going to get taken down by creeps instead, as you can see. A very nice thing. Of course, both players are actually even, just dead even at 144 experience right there, which is, pretty reasonable. Let's look at the tech tiers, the tech levels, etc. The Red Night Elf is a little bit farther, like a sliver behind in terms of actual tech tier upgrades. However, he's doing a really good job keeping the Purple's Demon Hunter's life very low. As you can see, he's just running around the rosy. I'm not really sure what either player's plan at this point is. Maybe just buying time for the shop to buy boots, maybe? Is that what it is? Dust and boots? Possibly. Here we can see that's going to be the case. Maybe someone's going for boots. We got boots on the Purple Night Elf right there, and the Purple Demon Hunter is just going to go ahead and try to get out of there, but the Red Huntress is going to go ahead and be able to do a lot of blocking and a little bit of extra damage coming onto him, so he has to be a little bit careful there, but he does have some sentry wards, and it looks like he's wanting to come down here maybe and place those into the space, just so he knows exactly what kind of strategy to expect at for tier 2 coming in from the Red Elf player, which we might see. He hasn't actually used it. Well, I don't know how obvious he wants to be about it. He probably wouldn't want to place it in the base, because you can, 1, hear when it's placed, and 2, you can also go ahead and kind of guess, especially if you know it's coming, so you would probably be paying attention to that. So maybe something like out here, a little bit more of a better placement. But he hasn't put one down yet. He probably is waiting just until the right time, because you don't want to place it too early. They only last 5 minutes, I believe, 300 seconds. In fact, there's a Fountain of Health. He's going to go ahead and heal up. But meanwhile, the Red player will go ahead and get some more creeping, which is going to allow him to get a nice experience advantage. As you can see, he's level 2. Still level 1 over here. Both players probably have their Ultra Sight finished by now. I wanted to go check that and see how that was upgrading, but I didn't quite get the chance. And see, that's pretty much that. There's lots of scouting going on. Scouting is important. And here comes a pretty big Ancient of War creep coming in from the Red Elf player. As you can see, he's got this illusion just to come over here and scout see what's going on. But I can't quite see really any kind of serious activity coming in from the Purple Elf player. It looks like he's playing very conservatively right now. I'm trying to see... Ah, okay, here we go. I was wondering if he was making Huntresses. It was being kind of odd if he wasn't, but he was. He had him at the tavern in the middle of the map, and he's picked up a Naga Sea Witch. So he's going to come in here for the Creep Jack, which is going to, you know, not do a whole lot, as it turns out. He might be able to get the Ancient of War and the last creep there, which would be pretty good, as you can see, because he is behind in terms of experience, and it's going to be a little bit harder to catch up considering how fast he got that second hero, but he can definitely still do it, and it's going to help him get this creep camp, potentially, which is really good all around. He's trying to get the block with the Huntress, not going to quite be able to do it though, and I love this ice bridge. As you can see now, he's running away. He's been running. Over here we can see a tier 3 on the way for the red player. However, the purple player is kind of halting at tier 2 for a little bit. I guess that's because he picked up that Naga, and now he is working on the tier 3 tech as well. And down here, it looks like this is probably not going to get stolen. It's just going to, you know, root down and wait for those Huntresses to come back down and creep it out. Meanwhile, the purple player will come over here, and he's going to work on the Goblin Lavatory. He probably is going to be sacrificing the Ancient of War. There's no trees around here, and I don't think he ate a tree, so he's going to take quite a bit of damage for this, and he might just end up dying straight up, which would be a little unfortunate. But again, this kind of creep is, if you're going to AOW creep this, he's behind, he needs to. And in fact, actually, it looks like this creep camp doesn't do that much damage, so never mind. It's going to be just fine. And in the middle of the map, we can see the red elf player kind of moving across. He's kind of near the tavern. He could pick up a second hero if he wanted to. Oh, he's already got one. He went Keeper of the Grove. So we are seeing some variation there. Keeper of the Grove versus Naga second. Naga is a really great item. Talisman of Evasion is a great item. That's just kind of gotten left there, which is a little unfortunate. You would definitely appreciate that on your Naga Sea Witch, because if it's on the Naga Sea Witch, basically that means it's much more tanky, and that's one of the big problems with the Naga in the first place, is how very squishy it is. But so be it. Rich is playing pretty greedy up here, just going ahead, or I'm sorry, the red elf player playing pretty greedy up here, and he is just going to go ahead and, you know, steal some experience. However, the purple elf player is aware of this. He's coming in with a Dryad, so he could, well, I don't know if he's aware of it, but he's about to find out if he didn't know. And he is going to force a TP. Wow. Well, that is going to happen. However, he won't be able to get the creep XP, so he's not really going to do a whole lot, but he did get the mana burn off on the Keeper of the Grove. And if he didn't know that it was a KOTG, now he knows. So, so there you go. It's another little thing. It's good things to have. Lots of good things to have. And the red elf player here is just now hitting tier 3. We're going to see the purple elf player working on tier 3 very shortly after, not too much later. Probably won't make much of a difference. We will see those bears coming in first, though, for the red elf player. As you can see, or at least the master bear form bears, and that might matter if he decides to push a fight. Not at this exact moment. It looks like he's going to go for the creeping. If he goes for this creep shop right here, and then he goes for the push, which would be kind of an odd push, but it would be a decent timing for him, minus the fact that he doesn't have a whole lot of units. So I don't know if he'll have enough units in that time period. It doesn't quite look like it, does it? Not really. 2 bears, not probably going to be enough. So he'll probably just go ahead and use that to kind of push a creeping advantage if he can, because you can creep very quickly when you have bear form bears, but you can really creep pretty quickly regardless with bears. Rejuvenation is just really powerful. And see, you got staff something up here. Was that an archer? Did he staff an archer up? He did, I think. I don't know why. Not sure what the point of that was, but there you go. He staffed it up. He did pick up a Potion of Divinity on the purple Night Elves Demon Hunter, which is a fantastic 25-second invulnerability potion. Nothing to scoff at it there at all. Purple player picking up a Tree of Life right here, or putting down a Tree of Life, rather. Starting to build that up, see if that can work. We might see a clash coming into here. We do, in fact, see that beginning, and Roar has been cast on the Purple Night Elf players. Is been cast. English. So yeah, the red elf player here, he's going to back off. This is a kind of a scary force right here. It's got quite a bit of units. It's quite well rounded, and it has the bears in bear form, so there's not really any tech advantage that we're going to be seeing here. There's a Ancient of War coming for the red elf player here, but it doesn't have any speed upgrades or armor upgrades, so it shouldn't be too scary. He will go ahead and get to the scrolls. The purple player there, he got a Scroll of Healing as well as a Scroll of Protection. He's going to get mana burned on his Demon Hunter as he tries to vie for a position. He does get entangled. Will he get surrounded as well? It seems unlikely, and in fact he does not. He gets the Abolish, but the Abolish a little bit late by about like 2 seconds, which is, you know, pretty rough, but there you go. A Rejuvenation will cure that whole problem, however, it does mean that he's a little bit lower on bear mana, which is a very important resource in these fights, and if not in the fight, it's certainly important after the fight. So here you can see that Demon Hunter, he's going to have to make sure he's not getting caught into a bad spot, but there comes the Scrolls usage. Now, Scroll of Protections are really important versus Dryads, because not only, well, if you have a Dryad that's actually on auto-cast Abolish, like this one probably was that just entered the fight, it'll actually go ahead and dispel one of those Scrolls of Protection casts, and you don't want that. You want to save those for important things, such as Rejuvenation, which is much more important than those little bit of extra armor in these fights. And here we can just see the purple elf player who's kind of coming ahead, but both players have very low Demon Hunters right now. However, we will see this red Demon Hunter getting a Rejuvenation cast on him right now. He's going to try to come back into the fight, and in fact, the purple elf player will force the TP right on out. As you can see, he just wasn't doing a whole lot of damage to the bears, and it seems like the red elf player, is he going to go for the creep over here at the red camp, or will he come scout this expansion that is just now finished? If he doesn't know about that, then he might decide to push his advantage maybe by creeping this Fountain of Mana, which would be good, except for the fact that there is an expansion on here. But maybe he can do this and also take down the expansion. We'll have to look at pretty much the food counts, I guess. 55 for the red elf player and 48 for the purple elf player. So that's one of the big issues if you do go for an expansion. Even as a Night Elf player who does have a fairly easy time in general of expanding, you always have this problem that you are going to be lower on supply for a little bit, assuming your opponent decides to push into upkeep at that point, which is generally a good idea if your opponent's going for an expansion and you aren't. And if you can push that advantage, then you can pretty much take down the expansion and kind of snowball your way up. But that does come down to whether or not that's going to happen. Here we can see that are a lot of bears here. 2, 4, 6 bears right now for the red elf player versus 3 bears. Not great. We can see 0-0 upgrades on the purple player and 1-1 upgrades on the red player. So he's definitely got not only the technology advantage at this point, but as well as the supply advantage. But again, he is losing the economy at war, which can be the most important thing in the game. Just depends on whether or not if he scouted this right now, I think he could probably do enough to take it down. He's just got such a nice army advantage, really, and he would just probably wipe the floor at the fights. And of course, Entangle is really good. And you do have to have more Dryads when you reverse Entangle anyway, but he only has 2, so it's not quite good for him, but he needs to be casting those to get those Entangles off. And here we have the fight going underway right now, bringing in a lot of Wisp right now from both players just to try to get the detonations off, getting rid of Roars, getting rid of Entangles, getting burning mana, etc. All that's really good. I like how the Naga's back here. He's kind of got a nice little wall for him to keep him safe. You don't want the Naga to kind of be out in the middle of the fight. However, that red Demon Hunter, both Demon Hunters taking quite a bit of damage. The Potion of Divinity has in fact been popped by the purple Night Elf, so that is going to be a very invulnerable Demon Hunter for quite some time. And here we can see that basically this fight is going pretty well. I mean, it's going okay. It's not really going okay for the purple Night Elf player. He's just losing so many units here. There's just so many bears from red, and they're so much more durable, and they do more damage. And now, however, this choke point, it was kind of good at the start of the fight, but since he lost the fight, he's going to have to get staffed out of that spot and lose the Dryad that was over there. It was just nowhere to micro. This is not going well. Yeah, he's going to have to do something. If he fights right here, then red would be in a really bad spot, but he is going to be now. Oh, look at this. These Demon Hunter is in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down, in fact. Oh, that's not good. Level 4 on the Keeper of the Grove for the red player. Has level 4 on both heroes and level 4 on the Demon Hunter. Quite close to level 5 versus level 2, and not even level 3 on the Naga. But, getting there. But he is so far behind. He wants to get this bear at least before it dies, or before it runs away, but that's not going to quite happen. Entangle on the Naga Sea Witch, and surrounded partially by his own units, but it's not going to matter. He's not going to be able to get out of that. Bears are too slow, especially when they're slowed by Dryads, to really unbreak that surround for you. So this, even with the economy advantage that the purple player has, because he's got quite a bit of resources here, 500 gold and such, it's just not quite enough. He just didn't have the tech, and he didn't have the unit counts there, and now his base is beginning just to get put into shreds. He's already lost an ancient, well, whatever that building. I think it was a lord, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what it was. But he lost that building, and another bear is pretty much gonna die right here. There's not really, yeah, there's not much to it. That one's gonna die. Oh well. Yeah, he's just getting shredded here. That Demon Hunter's not gonna come out for a long time. A lot of buildings are gonna die, and that's probably gonna be the good game. It just seems really unlikely at this point. Lure down. Yeah, GG is called by the purple elf player, who is Nicker. So there you go. Congratulations to Rich for winning game number 2. If you want to see game number 1, there'll be an annotation. And game number 3 will be up tomorrow-ish, probably. You can check that out right there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the games, you can always hit subscribe, like, favorite, whatever you want to do. I don't know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!